Hey y'all, and welcome back to Our Road Less Traveled. Today, we got a story for you.
It's a doozy. This is going to be about our trials and tribulations of getting a washer-dryer combo installed in the rig.
Which seems a bit dramatic, but it was a pretty rough week.
It was a rough week added
on top of this.
So it wasn't a hard project. It was just a long project filled with many unknowns, of which we're going to cover in this video. But the main thing we wanted to put out is why we did it.
One reason is because it has gotten more and more expensive to go to the laundromat. Seems like there's always 1,000 people in there. They're not always clean.
The laundromat's not the people. In some areas of the country, I didn't have a problem with Maria going to the laundromat by herself. In other portions of the country, Stella and I always went with her. So when I started looking at the cost, and specifically when we were in Orlando, 1 week's of laundry cost us $50 to $70 just to do that week. Now, Maria argues that point, that I'm the one that put the money on the little card thing, and
it's not that expensive everywhere, but
no,
here
it's not.
Yes.
And in Orlando, where we were at,
right,
it was expensive. With that said,
yes, we could have used the laundromat at the campground too, and it would have been cheaper, but
people washed their dog
dirty,
crap in it.
Yes.
There was stuff strode all over the floor.
Plus, people go in there and use 4 or 5 machines at a time, which
Right,
would be us because we need to do that much laundry.
It was just a hassle. So by the time I did the calculations on it, based on our most expensive week of laundry, we could have paid for a washer and dryer in about 3 months.
Yeah. Then we started doing research.
We did. We looked at many different brands, from GE to Splendide.
One that would go in a house versus one that would go in an RV.
Right.
And we'll get into that later.
We looked at vented versus ventless and the pros and cons of that. Yeah, the pros to the vented are it dries faster, and you don't add any additional moisture into the RV. The cons are you have to drill a big frickin' hole in the side of the rig and hope you don't hit a stud. The ventless, there was no hole that needed to be drilled.
And no caulk.
And no caulk and no vent kit. But you either dumped more moisture into the RV or you had to buy an external collection thing to catch the humidity on it.
And it dries slower.
We ended up going with was a Pinnacle 5500W Super Combo.
For an RV.
Because Pinnacle is owned by Equator, and Equator makes this exact same unit under the Equator name. The difference is Equator is not certified to be run in an RV, and if you put it in your RV, supposedly you void the warranty on it. We went with the Pinnacle. We called them and bought it direct. We didn't buy through Camping World or any of the other places. We paid exactly $1,300 to the penny, and that included the shipping.
Yep.
The reason we went with Pinnacle was because it had a 1,400 RPM spin cycle, and it would do 18-pound loads versus 15 on the other brands. Which
that sounds kind of weird, but it's based on wet weight, not dry weight. So
right.
Because if you look at it, it doesn't look like it would hold, 18 pounds of dry clothes. Well, it's not 18 pounds of dry clothes. It's 18 pounds of wet clothes.
We got the unit ordered. It got on its way. The water pan, the leak pan, drip pan, whatever it's called that goes under it, they were out of stock of, so we didn't get one of those. They also didn't offer, and I didn't think to order the vent kit when we ordered the dryer, which we were having sent to our next campground, not the one we were currently in.
Good thing you knew it needed one, because, I mean...
So I got to look it on Amazon, and I don't know why it was so confusing to me, but I figured it would be easier to buy one local. It was not.
Nobody had it in stock.
Nobody.
Not a black one, not a white one, not a silver one.
Nope, nothing. So we ended up driving from Orlando an hour and a half one way to pick up a vent kit, not knowing what color it was. We were hoping for white.
Yeah.
With the vent kit in hand,
then we're like, oh crap, well now we have to drill a hole
now we got to
this
drill
big
a hole
in the side of the RV and hope that we don't hit a stud.
For those of y'all that have watched the Hanks video where he drilled through one of the aluminum studs, that just petrified me.
Same.
Brand new rig. At this point, this thing's 4 weeks old at the most.
Yeah.
So one, we have to make a trip to the hardware store.
Of course we do.
I buy a 4 1/8 inch hole saw because I watched the Hanks and he said that a 4-inch hole, he had to shimmy it out a little bit. The next thing was, how were we going to verify we did not hit a stud? So I remembered when we were at the Hershey show, I got up early one morning, walked outside, and condensation had formed on some places of the rig, but not on others. And I theorized that that's where the studs were. So I got up the next morning, went outside, and I took pictures of the fifth wheel. And I took measurements, and then I went on the inside and I took some more measurements. I felt reasonably sure about that, but I decided to do it again the next morning just in case I could get better condensation lines, double checked everything. So I felt reasonably sure that where East to West had put their little sticker, that was dead center and I wasn't going to hit a stud.
Yeah.
So the first thing we did was we drilled the pilot hole. This is like the scariest thing ever. So East to West put this sticker and says that is the center where I'm supposed to drill. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this little hole saw over that and I'm going to draw a circle around it. All right, let's go drill a hole. Look out, Doodle. You ready? Mm-hmm. And I took a coat hanger and I bent it at 2.5 inches so that it had a hook on it, and I rammed that in 5 or 6 different directions just to make sure it didn't hit anything. Once that was done, we drilled the hole, put a 4-inch hole on it. You're gonna put it on the drill. We've got our pilot hole done, so I know where to put the drill bit. It fits right in there. Well, hello. Hey, can you make me a sandwich? I don't know what to do with my hands. And
it worked.
It worked.
In the exact right spot. Who knew?
So from there it was easy. You know, Jason from No Sticks No Bricks loaned us a ladder. And I put the vent through the wall, screwed it together, made sure I used plenty of sealant, you know, put the vent cover on it, caulked around it, and that portion of it was done.
Little did we know that was the easiest part of the whole project. We were driving to our next campground. We were having it delivered there, and it was supposed to be delivered on a Tuesday, but as we're on our way on Monday to that campground, we get a call from the RL driver, and he is saying that he's almost there. So we're also almost there. And we're like, oh great, it's gonna beat us there. Fantastic. So this is important information, by the way.
It really is,
because it just kind of went downhill from there.
that should have been the first clue.
Right.
So I hop on a golf cart.
Right.
They ride me over to look at it. We pull the packaging off, you know, do a quick visual inspection, make sure nothing's broke. I signed for it, and it sits there until we get our rig put in our site.
Which gets kind of into the next problem, is that we probably would not have stayed at this campground had we not had the washer and dryer delivered there. Amazingly,
getting the washer and dryer unit into the rig was the easiest part of this entire thing.
Yeah, it was. We had gone and gotten some shoulder straps, shoulder dollies or whatever, and the guy when the campground guy, Bob, thank you, Bob, for all your help, but when we got there, he was like, hey, if you need help getting that in, I'll be happy to come back and do it. We're like, thank you. Come back in like an hour, and he was right there and helped us, even loaned us some tools. We'll get into that later, but
so me and Bob put the shoulder dollies on, and we walk it up the main set of stairs into the fifth wheel.
Well,
yeah,
because this is pretty heavy.
You can feel the weight, but
it's not like you have to do it with your back.
Right. Let's just set it down, pivot, and set it down.
Okay.
All right. Are you good to?
Yeah.
And we take a quick break to make sure, you know, we're both good. And of course, I mean, it was really easy.
Yeah.
So we decided that we would go ahead and we would just take it up the second set of landing stairs and go and take it into the bedroom. All right. You steady it.
Okay.
And I'm going to use this to.
Put it over as far as we can. I know what to do.
Here's where it's important to understand that the washer dryer combo unit is 23.5 inches wide at the sides.
That's the casing, not including the door or the hoses or any of that.
That's the slick sides, not the front and the rear.
Right.
It's also important to understand that along with our big, beautiful bathroom, in order to get it that big, they had to trim the door opening to our bedroom to 22.5 inches.
Yes.
Now, we had measured the washer and dryer closet where it was going to go to. We had measured the door to the RV, but for some ungodly reason, I never thought to measure the frickin' bedroom door. So
never even thought about the door to the bedroom.
we get it up there, and it's not fitting. It's not even close. You can't even shove this thing through there.
Bless Bob's heart. He's like, I'm out.
Yeah,
Good
Bob,
luck.
He popped smoke. There we stand, and that's when Maria realizes it's not going through the door.
A little bit.
I have the words, but we can't put them on video. So I pulled the first layer of the door casing out, which is 1/4 inch.
Y'all,
molding.
this door frame was built in like 20 pieces.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to us. It's
all-
really pretty. It's all fancy and nice, but it took a bit of finagling to get it all off.
I took the 1/4 inch trim off, and we tried to get it through the door. It's not going.
Bob brings back his,
He brought me his mini crowbar.
yeah.
And so I start dismantling. We have to take the door off the hinges off. We have to take the
Pull all the nails out.
trim around the side off. I even had to take the 2x4 studs that frame the thing, had to take them out.
The nails were this long that went into that thing.
They used 2-inch brads. Some places had nails. Of course,
Have we mentioned how well built our Ahara is?
yeah, this thing, east to west, y'all do a damn good job on that.
Yeah.
So I got all the trim piece off, and we put the shoulder dollies back on, and we got it through the bedroom door, between the bed and the dresser, and got it in place got it spun around and in place to go into the closet. But I had to pull out some of the drum locks.
Oh yeah, there was a hose. The hose was on the inside.
Had to do a couple things to it before we could get it up in there.
Yeah.
And that's when we realized our next set of issues. How tall is that ledge?
7 inches. It was 7 inches of a lip to get it up into the closet. The problem was he was behind it and I was in front of it, so he had to come out of the closet and we had to get on each side and we had to pick it up and push it back at the same time, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but 300 pounds in the straps, you know, we almost couldn't use them because of the way it was situated.
Right. So you've got the closet door here, you've got the dresser here, you've got the bed here, and this thing, there's no pivot room whatsoever.
And there's not there's not extra space. It's like touching both doors almost. And
so the way we ended up doing it was,
there was no, like, you couldn't hold on.
Yeah,
there wasn't room.
there was freaking nothing. We ended up getting it cattywampus and got one corner of it just in enough that I could use as a pivot to get it the front end up so that we could push it in at a diagonal angle.
Yep.
Now knowing that, what I would recommend is getting a 7-inch block of wood and building a mini platform in front of it to put the washer dryer on that, and then you can just slide it back in there. That was like issue 983 for what we had to go through.
But we got it in.
We got all the water hoses hooked up. Which it did come with its own water hoses. I hooked the vent up. We got everything done. She was sitting in there pretty.
It came with a power cord too, which a home one doesn't do that.
No leaks. Everything was beautiful. Now we had the mess of trying to put back everything that I had torn apart.
Back together the 20-piece puzzle that he took apart when he took away the whole door frame. All right, so the washer's in. All good. In. Now we got to put the door back together.
We are excited. Is it worth it? Time will tell.
Yeah.
Is it in there? Absolutely. Can you get a washer and dryer in? Yes. But other YouTube videos that start off with, here's the washer and dryer, bing, it's in. That's bullshit.
Yeah.